I'm Boigon. Some of you I've known for a very long time. First for my 7.5 years now on Denver City Council, but before that for 8 years I worked with Mayor Wellington Webb and helped open the Mayor's Office for Education and Children. I've been in every school in this city, I've worked with every principal, and worked hard with you up here in Northwest Denver. I do want to tell you a little bit about myself. This isn't always easy for me, but my campaign people tell me that folks don't know me as well as I think you do. So here I go. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. My dad was a small entrepreneur. Detroit is a boom and bust town. They don't have recessions, they have depressions. They never have recessions. And so sometimes he was in business, sometimes he wasn't. We had a loving home, and I have 2 sisters, and my mom and my dad. And when I was 5, I had polio. And when most kids were going off to kindergarten, I went off to Children's Hospital. It took 6 years before I was finally done with braces and physical therapists and left with a right arm that doesn't work and a right hand that doesn't work. And I will tell you that it shaped me in interesting ways. My family always took the attitude that you can do it, figure it out. And what I do is I look at problems differently. I never think there's one way to solve a problem. And I never get pushed down by a challenge. I always know there's another way to think about it, another way to tackle it, another way to get things done. And it has really shaped my whole life, been the foundation for my success, in that there's never been a problem that I couldn't figure out. Often with the help of many friends, often with big teams working together, but there's always a way. So if Denver wants a mayor who will never blink at a challenge, who can work through every problem, who loves to work together with big teams and lots of partners, and we put all of our best thinking together, then I am your person. What I want to talk to you about, because I know your big interest is federal, is the work that I've done on Colfax from one end of the city to the other. And you may remember, excuse me, I'm at the end of a cold, sucking on a cough drop here. So I mean, cough in the middle. When we first got elected in 2003, I realized after campaigning all over the city that I could pull together 9 members of council to be the Colfax 9. Why 9? Because 9 is veto-proof on our council. And based on a commitment from our 9 members, I went to the mayor's office. Oh, thank you for this water. So, I realized with 9 of us we could do that. I went to the mayor and I said we want to negotiate. We want Colfax to be one of our priorities. We sat down with John Hickenlooper, John Huggins, Roxanne, wasn't Roxanne White at the time, it was Michael Bennett, and came up with a plan for $500,000 of CDBG investment in each one of the council districts, driven and led in the plan by council members. Hi, Janine, I didn't see you sitting there. We've done a lot of good work. I worked with Jeannie Robb on the first project out of the gate, which was the Bonfils Lowenstein Theater across from East High. And I have been completely supportive of the work that Rick Garcia and then Paul Sandoval began on your end of Colfax, convening a bid and getting all of that set up, fighting to make sure that in the operational budget there was money for the bid. Same thing on East Colfax, and we're starting to see the work blossom. And what I pledged to you is a commitment to continue that as mayor, and when you're ready for your project, we will be the dollars in to make sure that it happens as you choose it. It may be the cloverleaf that we've been talking about, which would make perfect sense, that we would be able to top that off. But that commitment is hanging out there, made by John Hickenlooper on behalf or to the Colfax 9, which sounds much more reprehensible than in fact it was. But it's that kind of partnership, it's that kind of commitment to what neighborhoods need, and my commitment to not allowing a piece of the city to decay. Because what drove me, after living myself in 5 blocks of Colfax for 40 years, was that if you look up and down the street, 15 lovely neighborhoods, some rich, some poor, but all lovely. Lovely yards, nice neighbors, children's tricycles, more than 20 DPS schools within 4 blocks of Colfax. And somehow, thank you, Judy, we have let it become the tenderloin of the city. Not acceptable. It was a policy choice to let it become that. Neighbors don't have to allow it. Leadership doesn't have to allow it. We can think differently if we commit to economic development, if we commit to good policing. And for me, I took on the issue of these young women, right? Because who leaves home because it's good? And we now know that, of course, these young prostitutes are leaving home because incest and domestic violence. And so I work very closely with a program called The Haven out in Fort Logan. They're raising money for them. We've taken their early childhood program up to an excellent one. And Denver is a different kind of city, and we have Denver values. And we treat these problems in a whole community way. So it should be beautiful for the neighbors, it should be good for the economy, it should be safe for the human beings that have found hardship there. And this is what we do in Denver. This is the leadership I will bring to you as mayor. I know women's leadership is a little bit different, but this is a room that understands that and we can get used to it. And for the most part, the Denver values that drive us about human beings, about neighborhoods, about jobs for families, about good schools everywhere, these are things we can do together. So I ask for your vote on May 3rd and again on June 7th because I do believe there will be a runoff and I do believe I will be in it. Watch my commercial. I have a hard time looking, but it's on TV and it's on the website.